Hello everybody, I am Angry Bird. Today the cast we've got coming to you is from the first Steel Division 2 official championship. This was filmed live on Twitch and I hope you enjoy. The game is Frubblord and he is playing the first Polish infantry division on Vanguard income, and he is up against Kato Megumi.ZZ, who's playing the Fallschirmpanzer Hermann Göring division. He is also playing them on Vanguard income. So we saw Frubblord a little bit earlier with the first Polish, and we were commenting that they are very strong, and they are a very strong division. The Odds-O Carnies, they're very strong infantry units, 20 men apiece if I remember correctly. A lot of T-34s, 22 T-34-76s in C phase, 45 points apiece. There's a lot of them. There is a lot of them. The big thing that the first Polish struggle on is the anti-tank. They've only got the ZIS-3 in the anti-tank tab. They do have the Su-85. It's not necessarily a fantastic unit, but it is 2-star, so hopefully, you know, that can do some decent work. But it's all going to be resting on the IL-2Ms for the major heavy-duty anti-tank work. Frubblord has 1 in A and 2 in B. Also, the IL-2M bomber planes are actually fantastic units. Frubblord's got 6 of those, and they can really make a massive difference. If we look at the fighters, he's also got 3 fighters in A, and I think that's 6 in B. So he has a massive air force, and it could come down to how Kato Megumi.ZZ deals with that air force. And this will be a very tight game. Both players, I think, are pretty much equally skilled. Kato Megumi.ZZ did finish slightly above Frubblord in the Steel Division League, but it was very close. Let's have a look at Kato Megumi.ZZ's deck. SPW 231 in A. But the T-34 should be able to deal with those SPWs fairly decently. And tank-wise, he's only got 12 Panzer IV H's and then 2 Tigers. Although, no, he does have a number of Jagdpanzer IVs in the anti-tank tab. And I feel like those Jagdpanzer IVs are going to be pretty difficult for Frubblord to deal with. He's going to have to use the cluster planes to clear up those Jagdpanzers. And also the 2 Tigers, but there are only 2 of them. So it's going to be a case of, can Kato Megumi keep those Jagdpanzers around long enough? Because 1v1 Jagdpanzer versus T-34, certainly in the first Polish deck, the Jagdpanzer is going to easily win that engagement. I think anti-air wise, Kato does have the SDKFZ-71 in A phase. He has 2 of them in B phase, and then 2 Flak 4188. So will he have enough anti-air to fight off that massive that massive air force of Frubblord? That's going to be a big question. Flak filling's very, very strong. 3 of them on the field at once. Is it going to be enough? So, as mentioned before, Frubblord on the left-hand side in red, playing as the first Polish infantry division on Vanguard income, up against Kato Megumi.ZZ on the right hand side in blue, playing as the Fallschirmpanzer Hermann Göring, also on Vanguard income. Place your bets now, guys. Who is going to win this matchup? On the left hand side, Frubblord pushing forwards for this early blue flag, and it is actually a fairly easy flag that you can take on the left hand side of this map as we look at it. Kato Megumi.ZZ, well, it looks like he's going to be attacking further south, potentially a little bit north. We'll see how that goes, but I think his main attack, the bulk of his forces are all down south. So this is going to be interesting because Frubblord's forces are maybe just a little bit further north. He does have a fair bit coming into this situation. Kato Megumi.ZZ is coming across the bridge, but there is the PTRS, the PPACANC PTRS, and Kato Megumi.ZZ is going to have to unload a lot of his units to ensure they don't get taken out by that PTRS. That's going to give Frubblord a massive hint that the entire attacking force of Kato's equipment is in that southern side, and actually the slower units of the Ozio Carnies haven't managed to make it into this compound, which is normally a cert from the left hand side of this map. In the northern side, it looks like there's not too much movement. We're going to concentrate on the south for now as it stands. Frubblord has pushed across with descent troops, which are basically Tanko Desanikis, but the HG Panzergrenz are also pushing across the river. The 52p engaging from further north. The SBW 231s should have a reasonable chance, time of taking out that 52p, and not many tanks here from Frubblord. So his T70s are further north. Potentially we could have done with these a little bit further south. The T-34-42 from Kato is coming in, but Frubblord did manage to overwhelm the troops here and does pick up the early 13-11 lead. The Jagdpanzer 4 is coming down in the south side. We've got a Pak 38 looking to take up position, potentially to overwatch this area, and Kato is pushing his infantry forward. Reinforcing T-34Es are coming in, and they are needed into this position, but Kato Megumi.ZZ is under threat in this central area, and a lot of his forces seem to have gone down. Potentially he just didn't bring enough into that central area. The Pak 3850, no, the Jagdpanzer engaged onto the T-70, picks up an early victory, and should finish off the second one as well. Those T-70s won't match up against the Jagdpanzer 4s. Strelky CKMs pushing through the forest. Kato's infantry has been pinned down, I think probably from a rocket strike or a bombing run there, and Frubblord bringing in plenty of reinforcements into that southern side to contest against Kato's attack. HG Panzergrenz coming into the central area, but at the moment Frubblord making advances in this central area. 13-11 up, 31 minutes left to win this matchup, and the T-34 potentially in a little bit of trouble here. Transmission destroyed, it's being advanced on by a number of units, although no, only the Strelky CKMs have the PTRDs, so he does need to back away. I think he's trying to back away, but he can't quite manage it. But these Desant Kozol Gawis are going to pick up the kill on the Pak 3850 when they get in range, and that will be a big kill. Although I think the Pak 38 has now noticed the T-34-42s are coming in, potentially could just save that Pak 38 from the Desant pushing forwards in that sort of southern central area. Reinforcements coming down into the south side. It looks like Kato Megumi.ZZ is going to continue with this southern attack. More HG Panzergrenz coming into the centre, and he has picked up this northern flag, but Frubblord at a 14-10. I think actually that is a blue flag from the start, so Frubblord has the 14-10 right now. He's picked up these two flags here, and that's given him the 14-10. But those Desants, I mean, they need to get into a building, but I don't think they're going to last at the moment under the onslaught of the T-34-42s. The Ozio Carnies are trying to make their way up, but I think the T-34s can clear them up. It's just about how many criticals they take in the meantime. Frubblord, the T-34Es, no, there are two that have come down into this southern side and two that have gone into the central area. HG Panzergrenz have come across the bridge. Kato's continuing to try and get the assault. He has picked up the flag there. He has taken this one back, so it is back to a 12-12, and Frubblord 5 minutes into this game finds a very slim lead at this point of time. HG Erzatstruppen come in to face off against the Desants, but they will just get murdered at close range, and Su-57 coming in there with the T-34Es. A lot of infantry advancing over open grounds, but there are a number of T-34-42s here to kind of stand off against them. More HG Panzergrenz continuing the assault in the southern side, and it feels like Kato potentially isn't trading too well in this southern area, and I feel like if he does get into an attritional battle and into an attritional warfare, he will lose out in the long run. The attacks continue in the southern and southern central areas. One T-34 here could come up against the two advancing T-34Es, and that could give him potentially give Frubblord a breakthrough. The Su-57 does strike and get the kill onto the T-34 at the back. That's a very nice kill there. You know, potentially the anti-armor in that area has been taken down. We do have a reinforcing Jagdpanzer 4. That is going to give the T-34Es a hard time, but it's a nice kill from that Su-57. Another Pak 38-50 coming into this position. The original one did eventually go down to the onslaught of the Descent Kozolgawis, and Kato has managed to hold on to this southern central ridge for now. Potentially that has really helped him out holding on to that position. I think Frubblord, if he'd have managed to get a lot of infantry into these buildings, he could have been in a very nice position. But pushing forwards, the T-34Es, looks like he's captured this compound a bit further back, and back to a 14-10. We'll win the game in 28 minutes. And SDKF said 7-1 coming up, so an early investment in Kato Megumi.ZZ's Air Force, and a nice mortar coming in as well. And actually this map for Kato Megumi.ZZ, it will be a familiar map for him. He did face off against Ziracure, playing a fairly similar deck, the Group Turina deck that has a lot of T-34s. He faced off against this deck in the Steel Division League, and it was an absolute fantastic game to watch. Check it out on my YouTube channel if you haven't seen it. But Kato Megumi.ZZ, it got all the way, I think there was less than 30 seconds on the clock, and Kato was going to lose the game, and he flipped it around on Ziracure and managed to pull out the victory. So definitely Kato will be used to this map, and potentially will be able to you know, turn things around quite easily if he can pick off a number of units. But there are T-34Es advancing up. Potentially Frubblord could pick up another flag here. The T-34-42, I feel like it's going to be in trouble against two of these T-34Es. And Frubblord's making a major advance in this central area. Kato is concentrating on this southern attack. He has the flag, but I don't feel like he's really like... I feel like his units are kind of losing out here. He is sort of eventually losing units. Another Pak 38 goes down to the advancing Odziel Khanis, which is a big loss there. T-34Es in place surrounding the T-34-42. It does go down. A fighter, a Yak-1B fighter, did come in. I think he tried to contest against the ME-410. I'm surprised that ME-410B1 did not go after, but actually the SDKZ-71 finishes the job without any need for this ME-410. Those SDKZ-71s very strong in this game. So, Frubblord at the moment 14-10 up. Will win the game in 27 minutes. He has a major control of this central area, and I think this is where Kato, he needs to recover this central area, because I think eventually he's going to struggle to continue reinforcing this southern area. I mean, look at the number of units that Frubblord has in this southern side. Kato is going to have to bring up reinforcement. I mean, look at his squads, they're all low on health, and I feel like Kato is potentially, he's going to have to bring in a lot of reinforcements. And if this southern area, you know, if Frubblord pushes down further south, he could potentially block off the reinforcement zone. Also, if he manages to kill these units without the reinforcements coming in, you know, we could see this flag switch back over, and we could see potentially pressure put onto this southern flag as well. So I think Frubblord is definitely in the has the advantage. He's in the hot seat. He is certainly up in this game early on. A couple of F-22s in the back area of this match, and we have a Ju-87G2. Looks like it's lining off against some of the M3A1 half tracks. So Kato Megumi.ZZ just trying to, you know, clear up a few of these lighter units, giving himself a little bit better of a chance. And actually, I think, no, I was about to say the T-34s have gone down. They've just moved further south, but we have got another Pak 38 in here. This is like the third Pak 38 into this position, and there are a number of units he has here. The Ju-87G2 still trying to get the kills on the half tracks, does succeed this time, and the Jagdpanzer 4 is actually going to be a difficult, you know, unit for Frubblord to contend with. The Pak 38, it does take out one of the T-34s at close range, and potentially the other one could go down here as well. The Ju-87G2 is still circling overhead. The anti-air from Frubblord potentially a little bit too far back. I think he's had to unload it back there because of the pressure that Kato Megumi has had in this southern side, but all of Kato's troops over the river have gone down. The Jagdpanzer IV is in real trouble right now. Yes, does go down finally to the ZIS-3 gun. There was an IL-2 coming in there again as well. That one's retargeted onto the second Jagdpanzer, but I think the SDK-71 will be able to hold that off. Yes, does hold that off on the southern side. So the flag has switched back to Frubblord, but there are a number of HG Panzergrens still coming in with the Panzerfaust. 14-10 to Frubblord. Kato has slowly, you know, started to get to grips with this central ground, and I think the aid of the Ju-87G2 has really helped him out. More HG Panzergrens coming in, and that's what Kato needs. You know, he needs to control this ground. I think if this T-34E goes down, then Frubblord over this river, he had a lot of control in this area, but Kato, I think, has managed to hold on in this ground. The Jagdpanzer IV coming in into a nice little place. The Yak-1B potentially could be in a lot of trouble with this 7-1 here. I'd like to see... Ooh, the Ju-87G2 did go down. So it must have been on pretty low HE, because I don't think that took a major burst. But the fighter did also hit the deck as well. Jagdpanzer advancing forwards. It looks like Kato has certainly gained back a great deal of control. I'd like to see another SDK-71 come into this southern side to face off against the potential air force coming in from Frubblord. 2 more T-34Es coming in. We've got some Aufklers in the SPW-222s. They'll be great at dealing with the infantry, but they are going to go down to the T-34Es if Kato Megumi.ZZ is not paying attention. But I think he did manage to put them onto the fast move them forwards, and at least get them out of harm's way for now. The T-34 is coming down potentially to take this overwatching position, potentially get some side shots onto this T-34E. I think Frubblord still has the 14-10 at this point, but Kato Megumi.ZZ is not in as bad a position as he was a little bit early on. The HG Flammenwerf under attack from so many angles right now, but we do have a Tiger E coming into this central position. These heavy tanks will be hard for Frubblord to deal with, and one of the T-34-42s does get crew killed, but the more Kato Megumi can keep these heavy tanks on the field, the better day he's going to have, because I feel like they're going to trade incredibly well against these T-34Es, and Frubblord's going to have to find a way to deal with them. I feel like he's going to rely on his air force. But these SDK-71s can do a fantastic job at holding off the air force of the 1st Polish. This Tiger coming in, picks up an early kill against one of the T-34Es. And potentially will get the second kill as well. Yes, does get the second kill. The SPW-222 was racing forwards there. And this one attacking the 52P in the sort of rear. I think those 52P, these SPW-222s can do a great job. This Su-57, which will win out. Yes, the autocannon of the SPW-222 does win out, and a lot of units have gone down from Frubblord in a short space of time. Back to a 13-11. Frubblord will still win the game in 20 minutes time if things continue as they are. But do not underestimate Kato Megumi.ZZ at the moment. He has a Jagdpanzer IV down. He has 2 down in the southern area. He has a Tiger E in the centre, and it looks like potentially one coming up to the north, potentially covering off against any attack. Potentially could be looking for an attack of his own in that northern side. So the Tiger E in that central area is kind of holding all the units at bay, and Frubblord's got to find a way to take out that Tiger E. I think an Air Force attack could work well, because it looks like Kato doesn't have the AA in that central area. We just saw another Ju-87G2 take down one of the T-34s, and as long as Kato can continue to pick off these T-34s, he's going to have a decent chance. He doesn't want to get into an attritional sort of matchup against the infantry of Frubblord, but yeah, I think he may well win out in the long run as long as he takes down those T-34s. So it looks like Frubblord is now pushing up Strokey SVTs, and these can be very strong units with the SVT rifle. 7 SVT 40s, a hell of a lot of damage they can put out onto enemy infantry. Very strong units. So it'll be interesting to see whether they can win out against the HG Panzergrens in this centre ground. Potentially Frubblord could make some movements, but wow, looks like a probing attack in the north. I think Kato wanted to see what was there. Could he push through? But the Tiger E potentially could win out in that northern side. Frubblord bringing in a couple of reinforcements just to cover off against any northern flag, northern attack. And at the moment, Frubblord still has a 15-9. He's still up in this game. 9 minutes left on the clock. Will he win out? This is going to be tight. I feel like Kato is still in this match, but it is going to be tight. Both of them have the same income advantage. We're now 17 minutes into the game, so they're both on 120 points of income. Income's an ME-410B1. Looks like, yeah, to ground attack the Odsil Carney as they move forwards. And Frubblord's picked up these 2 flags. Those Strokey SVTs have done a fantastic job of securing this central hill, and just as you thought, Kato had kind of re-established control of this centre ground. He does, you know, Frubblord comes back and picks up the central hill. So the ME-410 continues to circle and is trying to take out any of the infantry that he can see. Okay, good. The Tiger E is attacking in the northern side. I just wanted to check there that the stream was working okay. Thanks very much, Intentional Distress. Thanks very much for joining us too. Plenty more coverage tonight. Right, Frubblord still 15-9 up. 7 minutes 40 left on the clock. This is very tight right now. This Tiger E is doing a lot of work in the centre ground, and it looks like some M45 guns, M42 guns have come into this central area, and I feel the Strokey have done a major job just clearing up the infantry, picking up another flag. It's now 16-8, and Frubblord is in a commanding position right now. An Su-85 into the southern area is facing off against the Jagdpanzer, and potentially we could see a kill here. No, these Su-85s potentially not too reliable. Does have the APCR on, is firing at 180mm of penetration, but a penetrating shot is not going to get necessarily a one-shot kill. That Jagdpanzer is standing up very well. If it can get a hit off against that Su-85, it only has 70 points of armor, so potentially here it comes, sight damaged onto the Su-85. Potentially that Jagdpanzer can survive. I think that's 4 or 5 shots from that Su-85. Wow, I'm surprised that Su-85 did not get the kill against that Jagdpanzer 4. He's still got another chance. It's just missing shot after shot. Potentially the sight damage is hurting it now, but we have got the Su-57 and the T-34E that are flanking into the southern side, trying to get that kill. I feel like, oh, there's a Ju-87G2 coming into this central area, trying to pick up the 2 T-34E kills. The Tiger E, I think, is that the same one as before? Looks like the Ju-87 dealt with one of them and does deal with the second one. Those Ju-87 G2s have been fantastic at keeping Kato into this game. Looks like he's launched an attack up north, but Frubblord definitely has the units at his disposal to stave off this attack. I think it's going to come down to the Tiger E in this northern side. Will he win out in that very northern area? The Ju-87G2 is now coming more further south, but we do have the 52K on the field with that 3K range from the 85mm flat gun, and does push back the Ju-87G2 for now. I think Kato is struggling to regain control. 5 minutes 24 on the clock. Wow, I think Frubblord is in a very commanding position right now. The Tiger E is still around on this northern side. It is taking criticals. I'm not sure exactly. I think it was the Su-85 that was firing on that Tiger. I mean, potentially Kato could do something in this northern side, but there's just a lot of units here from Frubblord that Kato will have to get rid of. I feel like he needs to concentrate on taking back this southern central area. There's one, two, well, there's at least 2 flags that could bring him back to, well, that would bring him back to the 12-12. But he has 10 minutes now left to do so. Frubblord, no spoilers in the chat, please. But certainly he's looking up on top. Ooh, the Tiger, we did just capture that. The Tiger does go down to the IL-2 on the very northern side. So it looks like Kato may be having trouble taking back this southern central area. I think if Frubblord can hold on to this position, I think he will get the victory. Back to a 15-9, halves the timer, 4 minutes left on the clock, although it's chopping and changing. Back to a 14-10. This Su-85 taking up a nice overwatch position, although it is sight damage. It's out of APCR, but its cannon can do a lot of damage, especially on the hit. No, actually, I thought it was a more powerful HE cannon, so it's only a 85mm. I think it's the APCR that threw me there, because it does have the 118mm of penetration. Down goes the T-34, the Panzer IV-H, or the 2 Panzer IV-Hs do sort of establish at least armoured control of this southern central area. I think if he can get rid of the Strelky SVTs, Kato will be in a better position, potentially take back another flag. There are still 8 minutes left on this clock right now. The SBW-222 needs to get rid of this M42 gun. Ooh, just loses out there. I feel like if he'd got rid of that gun, well, no, there is another one. There is another one right behind. And actually, Frubblord has one out in this northern side, and I think that's going to have hurt Kato, because he invested a Tiger in there. He invested a fair few forces to attack. He's lost them all, and actually Frubblord can counter-attack here, and there's not much to stop Frubblord from pushing. I can't speak right now. There's not much to stop Frubblord from pushing across in this northern side, guys. I feel like this is what Frubblord is going to do next. I feel like he is going to push over, does pick up that bridge flag, will probably pick up the compound flag in the north as well. It's 14-10. Kato has recovered the central flag, so he has done what we said. He has concentrated on this southern side, but he is now open in the northern side. So Frubblord could potentially push through in the north. All of Kato's reinforcements have come into the south. It's still 14-10. There's 6 minutes 50 left on the clock. But Frubblord, he has lost a number of units. He is kind of in retreat in this southern side. So, you know, potentially Kato could make some further ground in this southern area. The Tiger continues to be a massive threat in this central area. HG Panzergrens do come into the center area. Potentially, you know, there isn't a massive amount from Frubblord. I think he's been concentrating up north, but now we see the reinforcements come in, and yeah, I think these reinforcements were definitely needed. He potentially would have been in trouble. I'm alright, guys, don't worry. I am still alright. I just was struggling with my words then. I'm just flabbergasted at the pure action in front of me. Frubblord does push forward over that northern side, like we said, and Kato doesn't have enough reinforcements coming in here. A Jagdpanzer and a Valkyr not going to be enough to hold off the infantry or stop them from getting into buildings, and it's going to be really difficult to dig them out. I think 16-8 now for Frubblord. 2 minutes 30 left on the clock. Kato needs to get back this flag, needs to get a reinforcement up north, but there is not much time left on this clock. And look at the infantry advancing forwards from Frubblord. I think potentially just in time as well, because Kato was really establishing control over this southern central hill, but Frubblord was just in time with the reinforcements, has kind of recaptured this position, and that's kind of what it's been like throughout the game. At the start, Kato did try and make a push across this southern side, but Frubblord established an early control over this southern central sort of hilltop and has managed to kind of just hold on to it. There was a couple of times throughout this game that I felt Kato had re-established control, but at just the right time Frubblord brought in enough reinforcements. There's another Ju-87G2 circling in the northern side, but potentially cannot quite spot the targets. We do have the 52k back here with the 3k range, and I think these Ju-87G2s have been keeping Kato Megumi.ZZ in this game so far. The HG MG42s do come in, finally does pick up that northern flag. It's back to a 15-9, but there is 1 minute 15 seconds left on the clock, and potentially Kate, oh no, the infantry unit does go down. I was going to say he could potentially press on to this flag, but the loss of the infantry unit really does hurt him in that ground control. 59 seconds left on the clock, 60 seconds left in it. We've seen Kato come back before, but I think potentially this is going to be too much of a struggle. 15-9 for Frubblord, a minute left on the clock. Kato Megumi, he just has too much left to do to come back into this game right now. And Frubblord is going to pick up the victory as we move into these final moments in the game. And somebody, I think it was Genzi Kaka, said earlier in this stream, Frubblord with the 1st Polish Infantry Division is a mighty fine combination. Was it a scary combination? I think was the phrase used earlier. And yeah, it looks like Frubblord is going to progress forwards in this tournament, and announcing the victory early with the with the pings. There we have it. Frubblord picks up the victory. 27 minutes 49 seconds into this game. Congratulations, Frubblord. Commiserations, Kato Megumi.ZZ. And that game probably wasn't quite as tight as I thought it was going to be. Frubblord pushed forwards very early on, kept the pressure on Kato Megumi.ZZ. He is in the chat. We're seeing him on screen, and he is very happy to get that victory. I did lose out to him in the league, so kind of a revenge as such. We did think this was going to be a close game, and I think it was fairly close in terms of kills, losses, but I think it potentially, in terms of control of the ground, Frubblord gained early control, and certainly I think managed to maintain that control throughout the game. Frubblord, let's have a look at his kills. The Su-57, wow, did a fantastic job against those early SBW 231s. Pavlchek in the Su-57, give that man a medal. What a fantastic job. Those SBW 231s can't be underestimated against the Su-57. The Odzio Carnies, very strong squads. They won out early on, yeah. Both squads picking up a number of units. And the Su-57s are very good, Skenzi's saying. And, well, we certainly can see they did the job in this game. I found myself trouble at time using those units. I think they are glass cannons, yeah. They can be taken out easily, which is why I think I'm saying he's done really well against these SPW 231s. These kills may have been out of range though, because I think the Su-57 does have the range advantage against the 231s. So potentially that was where the kills came in. Nico, welcome to the stream. Nico uses the Su-57s in groups. Yes, Frubblord confirming that it was at range. Yeah, I think if these would have been in autocannon range of the SPW 231s, that Su-57 probably would have gone down. So I think Frubblord using the extra range advantage to his advantage in that game. Oh no, sorry, confirming the SPWs were in range. I apologise. So yeah, very well done to get those kills. And more kills from the Su-50. Wow, more kills. So the Su-57 standout unit in this match from the looks of it. 2 Panzer T-34, 42 kills, and they got, well, yeah, they certainly can pick up those kills fairly easily. I was going to say they've got no right to get those kills, but they do have a right to get those kills. What else do we have here? Just a lot of infantry. Those Odzio Carney squads. Every time you see an Odzio Carney squad, it's taken out 2-3 infantry units, and I think that really hurt Kato. Like, look at the numbers of squads those Odzio Carnies are taking out. I think that really did hurt another one here, a number of units, including a Jagdpanzer kill. I don't know whether that was with the PTRD or whether that was a surrender, but yeah, another one here. Those RGL Carney squads, wow, they did a major job for Frubblord. Let's have a quick look at the kills for Kato Megumi.ZZ. The STKFZ 7-1 did come in early, which was a good choice, but we didn't actually see Frubblord use too much of his air force, but I think it was a right call to see that STKFZ 7-1 come in fairly early. The Ju-87G2, I mean, it did get a number of kills, but only one actual tank kill. And the SPW-222, that did a decent job. We can see there it taking out the Su-57. So, yeah, those Su-57s, they are vulnerable to autocannon units. The Tiger E, again, only 2 T-34Es and a T-70. So, it could have done a bit more work. It certainly helped Kato in that central area, and it was definitely an area of control, but didn't pick up a major amount of kills. This Ju-87G2 had a better time picking up 3 T-34E kills, and I think Frubblord lost out a little bit early on because I think his AA was a little bit too far back in the initial stages of this game, but I think that was because of that southern attack that came through from Kato. And I think that is the majority of the kills for the two players. So, as I said before, congratulations to Frubblord, commiserations to Kato Megumi.ZZ. Let's have a look what that does to the bracket. So, a result that came in there, Arturo Diaz did pick up the win against Gaspar. So, Gaspar had like a 2-hour match. A 2-hour match against Metal Phase, and then went on to lose to Archio Diaz in the second round. I'm sure he would have been absolutely gutted. Frubblord picks up the victory against Kato Megumi.ZZ. That does take him through to the semi-final, and he is the first player into the semi-final. So congratulations to Frubblord, is the first player into the semi-final and will play the winner of Lossa versus Arturo Diaz.